Hello and welcome back. I am King Link, and this is my last look review of I Am Bread. So, if you haven't seen it already, there is a first look available that shows about the first 30 minutes, my first impressions of the game. This is going to be more of my final impressions. I finished playing the game. I'm not going to play that much more. And as such, I want to go through it. Now, I won't say this is spoiler free. There's not many spoilers in this game, to be honest. I'm going to show you a few things that are a little bit late in the game, or at least unlockable late. I'm going to talk about Star Wars, Goat Simulator, and Team Fortress 2. Those are normally locked at the beginning. I'm going to show you all the modes in the game, or at least probably 4 of them. I don't know if I'm going to show you. Well, I'll show you them all. And then from there, I'm going to discuss the game, give it a final review, and that should be it. Hopefully we can do this relatively quickly. But from there, I want to start by talking about the game itself. It feels like this is I want to call it a YouTuber game, in that there's games I feel that are made for, not for the general public as much as it's made for YouTubers and their wacky reactions to it. It started around Surgeon Simulator, which was Boss's first game, and I think that was intended for both. There's games like Goat Simulator, this, now Five Nights at Freddy have kind of taken over that look, and they're good games. There's nothing wrong with the games themselves, but they're more made wacky. The problem I have with I Am Bread is, well, it is in that genre of wacky controls. Like Surgeon Simulator, it doesn't maintain that wackiness all the way through. It gives you a relatively normal world with relatively wacky controls. I wish there was more exploration. I wish there was something more to this game, but you'll see as I go into the game. Now, I've already shown the first 2 levels. I'm going to do the 3rd level for the story mode. If you want to see the first 2 levels, the first look has them, but this should give you a look at the world. Now, this card here is the story of the game. That's all there is, and it's just, there's 7 of these cards that you can read. You know, there's not much there. Guy sees that Toast has come alive. Oh, it actually has, so he's the reaction to him is the story there. This isn't a story-based game, let's be honest. This is, check out this weird, wacky thing that I'm doing. I'm now a piece of bread. Oh, there's magic marmalade right there. I'll talk about that in 1 minute after we explore the level normally now. If you look around, this is a bedroom. It looks like a normal bedroom. You know, I'm a piece of toast. Why is this room so normal looking comparatively to the concept of being a piece of toast? You can see how I'm moving by the yellow markers on the corners. That's a nice feature for me, but to use to know what's gripping, but it's also great so you can see how I'm controlling the game. Now, I've sometimes taken damage down here while doing trial runs for this. I have not yet today. But in the upper right, there is my edibility score. That is actually... Oh, I just took damage for something. That is actually my life force. If that runs out, bam, I'm dead. I have to restart the level. If that's annoying, that magic marmalade will actually make you have infinite life. There's also a grip meter. If you run out of grip, you fall. It doesn't kill you, but it will usually put you in a situation you don't want to be. So, you manage both of these as you try to toast yourself. How do you toast yourself? Well, it depends on the level. The first level is the kitchen. You toast yourself by going to the toaster, the stovetop, or the oven. Normal, interesting theory. Later levels have different ways. This level has 3 ways. One sec. Little sneeze there. Whoops. I think I'm allergic to this game, maybe. So anyways, this level has 3 ways to do it. You can go up on a lamp over there. We're going to try to move our way over to the to the oven. I mean, iron. I don't even know what I'm trying to reach. It's an iron. And from there, you can... Okay, I'm on the wall. This is a good place to be, because I'm away from that part. There is the disgusting part of the wall and the normal part of the wall. Where I am right now is normal and I don't take damage. If you're touching that mold, you take edibility damage, thus potentially dying. So there we go. So now I'm moving across the wall. There's the iron down there. There's also a lamp over there. I think there's actually a heat press for like here or something on the desk. I haven't really tried that one. Right now I'm going to try something outlandish. It might work, it might fail. I'm going to try to fling myself onto the ironing board. And I failed. Okay, dang it. So I'm going to take the death here, and voila, I've died. Essentially, the goal of the game is to get there. You actually get graded on how you do it, what you've touched on the way, usually talking about deliciousness and edibility, and there's also a super fast time that will get you a higher grade. And you can get like up to an A. I think there's an A++, someone has mentioned. I don't know how to get any of that. The top grades, I do not feel like I'm going to go and chase those. If you like chasing them, that's cool. If you think, oh, I'm going to be bad at this game, well, there's Magic Marmalade. What's that? I just got infinite grip, infinite edibility. I can now beat any level with this. That's a great feature for me because it allows me to continue the storyline without just getting frustrated with the controls and giving up. About 3 levels in, I was almost done with this game. And when I realized the Magic Marmalade comes out, I actually explored the rest of the game and experienced it, and I'm glad I did because I got to see everything. But the Magic Marmalade isn't going to fix the game. If you're a big score hound, if you want to prove yourself to the game, if you want to say I'm the best at I Am Bread, and Magic Marmalade is a huge cheat to you, I agree. It's definitely a cheat, but it doesn't give you a good score. It will always give you an E rating, and that to me is a good trade-off. I can get a good score if I try, or I can experience the game as I want, and I think both types of players will be happy with that compromise. You know, learn the game if you want the best rewards, or don't, and just explore the game as you can. I know I'm almost at the iron. I'll make one attempt at it here, but I'd like to show you more of the game rather than what I pretty much showed you in the first look. I've basically been all over the story mode of the game. So let's see, one flip. And I'm down. Alright, let's stop there. Actually, I'm going to share this. If you go look at the written review below, you'll actually see that GIF. So that is the story mode. Now, there's 8 levels here. That doesn't seem like a lot. You can beat them in maybe like 10 minutes, 20 minutes a piece. That seems short. How does the game deal with this? Well, it has other modes. Here's Bagel Race. I'm now a bagel, and am I doing the same thing? No. Each of these modes is actually quite different. I said I'll show you them all, so we'll go quickly through them, but Bagel Race is one of my favorite modes. At first I thought it was really hard, and it is, but at the same time, it is really fun to play. The controls here are odd still, but it is still an entertaining level. You play a bagel who is rolling around. The fact that you're a bagel and not just a ball definitely makes it odder, but it is still pretty easy to control. How am I doing on time? Probably I'm slightly slower. Oh, I did not even make it up that crap. So the idea is you're trying to make the best time. You're trying to roll around. Oh, I can just go to the last checkpoint and get through it. It's a good concept, and it's a great reuse of the level. All of these modes reuse the level, and I'm going to show them on the first level so you can see the changes, but I did poor there. But it makes for more gameplay, and it still has the same issue. It's not that outlandish. Rampage is done with a baguette, and it's all about destruction and combos. This is my other favorite mode. It's this and Bagel Race. I go back and forth on which one's better. And honestly, I think both are the best parts of this game, at least for me. Some people are gonna love the story mode. Some people are gonna love the missions in it. Some people are gonna like the cheese hunt. I'm not a big fan of that one, but I'll show you it anyways. Overall, though, every mode has that wacky control. You can see I almost failed it on the Bagel Race, and it was due to I'm racing this oblong object, and I have to now deal with the odd control of continue to roll on the center. It does help you a little bit. The game does have two controls. I use the classic, and I think that might be why, but essentially the game does seem to make it somewhat easy sometimes and somewhat difficult other times. The controls I'm on, let's just show quickly. I use Gamepad Basic, and I talked a little bit about this in the first look, but Gamepad Pro, I don't know exactly what's different about it. I just can tell you 3/4 of the time it does something that I'm not expecting, and it just makes the experience that much worse. Not a deal breaker because the easier controls are there. That was the original controls though, and that might be why people had more of a problem back then. I still have 40 seconds. But yeah, this mode, I like the destructibility. I like you have to make a plan. I've planned poorly here and gone the wrong way. The other side had more dishes, I believe. But oh well. But yeah, I mean, again, concept, I'm a baguette. And I hate harping on the wackiness, or the lack of wackiness factor. I've just played 2 games where I've harped on it, but the fact is, this game could have had a ton of exploration, could have had a ton of, hey, what could I find in the fridge, or what could I find behind that door? It doesn't have that. It's just very normal, very average rooms. Yeah, there's plates piled up, and that's the whole goal. So so we've gone through story mode, Bagel Race, Rampage. Now we're on Cheese Hunt. You can see I haven't played all of this. I didn't enjoy this one that much. I think it's my least favorite. It does have an interesting concept. Instead of edibility, you have integrity. And if you take a hard hit, like I just did, you lose integrity. And the goal is to find 5 stinky cheeses on each level. You know, as a concept, I'm sure some people are going to enjoy this one. I just did not enjoy it that much. Oops, I'm taking damage as I hit it. I just didn't find it that fun or entertaining. Alright, let's go back and forth, and the hiding it in places, the fact that now all of a sudden I can take damage by hitting the ground, made it a lot harder, and I don't know. If you like this mode, I get it. It is a different challenge, and I appreciate that. There we go. I got 1 cheese out of 5. I'm just going to take the hard hit off the counter just to end the level and see how that does. Yeah, I only took a small amount of damage. I actually took more damage falling forward than that. As a concept, it's good. It's more frustrating than the main game in my opinion, but if you want to play that mode has a different feel to it. And finally we come to ZeroG as the bonus mode. Actually, that might be 5 bonus modes, but yeah, there's 5 bonus modes. And how does this work? Well, I now have space thrusters on me. Everything is in ZeroG. I can go and fly around the world. But if you look again, everything is very normalized. It's the same items that were in the world before. Concept-wise, this game just doesn't do it for me, and I'm sorry to harp on that, but I like parts of this game. I don't like the fact that they didn't do anything outlandish here. Whereas if you played Surgeon Simulator, you actually will do surgeries in ambulances, surgeries on gurneys. There's even a secret how to space level if you haven't done that. Definitely go back and check that one out. I thought that was cool. But in this game, you're not doing too much besides being a piece of bread, which is an interesting concept. It's just not a big enough concept for me to enjoy beyond, okay, I'm a piece of bread. I've done it in a few levels. I'm done. I'm going to try to dock this. Oops. I think I missed aim too. So in this one, concept-wise, really solid. Gameplay-wise, really solid. It is hard. I didn't go too far into this because I felt it didn't change too much, but man, the controls are odder than ever before in this, and I can't get that movement right. And as a game itself, I do like this thought. Jeez. All right. You're not gonna sit here and watch me try to dock. You get the idea of this level. It is very different and interesting. When I found this level, I was pretty much a little bored with the game. I think that there's still a good game in the ZeroG Cheese Hunt. I wasn't a big fan of, but the other ones, they're a mixed bag. So, I do want to talk about the bonus levels because they came out after launch, but man, they are really good. They're different, some of them, and they're definitely the things that I thought really stood out to me as very unique. So Star Wars, yeah, it's Star Wars, one of the best movies ever, the originals, and yeah, it's a parody of it, but you know what? If you know Star Wars, you're going to recognize a little bit of this. I'll let it play. I'll show the opening, but we have time for that. Yeah. Essentially, you're going to be playing as an A-Wing, which comes from the, I believe it first appeared in the Return of the Jedi, and you're going to be fighting a Star Destroyer, chasing the Rebel blockade runner from the beginning of episode 4. Anachronism all over the place. It's a parody. I'll accept that. But this is one of my favorite modes in the game. It's different, it's unique, it's wacky, it's everything that I kind of was hoping for. That's not a Star Destroyer, that's an ironing board. Stuff like that. Great concept, great use. That's a baguette. You know, I hate harping on that, but to me that's what really pulled my enjoyment of the game overall down. ZeroG did it well. The other was just being a oops, I've already died. That's how good I am at this mode. Being a piece of toast just wasn't wacky enough for my flavor. I'm gonna just skip that. I hear a bit of popping. That is from the game, not from my controls. Okay, I clearly am trying to rush this. I'm gonna give it one more attempt, and then we will move on, I swear. So, overall though, I think this type of wackiness is kind of what could have been, in my opinion. You know, just, it didn't have to be Star Wars, but just making objects. I mentioned Katamari Damacy. I think that area did this exploration of a house really well because you see things that you wouldn't normally see, like maybe there's a mouse or maybe there's a goat in a house, or you know, people have made stand-ups of things and made things in the shape using random objects that you can go and collect. Stuff like that works. There I go. Oh well, I failed. But you can see Star Wars is an interesting game concept. There's only one level of it. I actually have beaten it, and it is solid. The TIE fighters are impossible to kill, or graham cracker fighters, if you will. But that one actually made me very happy with the game. I didn't factor so much into my score because it was bonus content, but it is a great use of the materials they already had and the assets already in the game, and I love the feel of it. So let's talk about the Goat Simulator level, Rampage. Now, if we saw the regular Rampage, we kind of know what's coming in here, but this is Goat Simulator style, and instead of a baguette, I am now a goat. The corpse of the goat from Goat Simulator. Honestly, I like the original Rampage in the game, and I have to say, this is no different. It's a little bit harder, definitely, or easier, depending. But basically, with the big goat body, I have to just fling it around and smash as much as I can. So, is there much more to see here? Much more to do? No. You know, you basically get the same layouts as the baguette level, but if you're a Goat Simulator fan and you just want to play with the goat instead of the baguette, this is a good way to do that. Not much more needs to be said about this level, though. I am going to quit. Oh. Quit. And then we'll take one quick look, and I will talk about my score. Team Fortress 2. I'm not going to play this level. It is a long and hard level. But you become Sandwich for... Yes, that is the heavy. You need to now assist him by becoming Sandwich. If you know, that was the first bonus item, I believe, in the entire game. And now you can help him out by becoming it for yourself. Good concept, very hard level. I found that you can actually... It is a bigger level than most of the others. You have tons of TF2 stuff. You have a warp portal there. You have the Devilman's bombs. You have the axe that... I can't remember exactly who uses it, but there's a lot you can do with this level. I've not actually beaten it, I'll be honest. It is a challenging level. I'm just going to go and get on his face. And no, I failed at that. But yeah, it's mostly a standard level, but you just have to find sandwich parts rather than becoming toast. Good concept. And there's the goals. So you can teleport bread, no mines detonated, and so on. And that is a wacky one. Hey, you now have Team Fortress 2 in the game. If most of the levels could get there, I think I would have liked this game a lot more. The concept of, and I keep going back to the concept, and that's the core problem of the game, in my opinion. The concept of, I'm a piece of bread, is really interesting. There's a ton of possibilities. You could have a dog chasing you, you could do all sorts of stuff. And that's just me thinking for like 10 seconds. The problem is, the only thing that's really out of place here is you are a sentient piece of bread. You're walking around a real world. Whereas the Surgeon Simulator had so much more on it. Oh, you have to do an eye transplant. You have to do a brain transplant. Great, that just adds to the wackiness. Here, you just walk around a normal world and try to find what can toast you. And there's some good choices there, but even there, it's just things that heat up. You know what? That's fine for a concept of the game. It didn't hit me right. This isn't going to be a long game. I played 7 hours, I think, and most of that, and that's a pretty good time. I know online, like How to Beat rates at about 3 hours. I think that's low if you want to play heavy level. If you go for like the top score or mastery of games, this will definitely give you more playtime. If you just want to see everything once, this game's pretty short. But with all that said, you know, I look at this game through, I want to review it for the players, and that's what I always review it for, and I don't want to just go, this isn't my type of game, but ultimately I have to give this game a 3 out of 5. It's a interesting concept of being bread. It just doesn't fully flesh that out, sadly. it could haha. It could spread it out a little more and be a little bit more interesting. At the same time, the controls are wacky and they have to be to make this game work. But ultimately, I played it. I enjoyed what little time I had with it. I probably wouldn't play it again. I bought it cheap on a sale, and I got my, I think I paid $2 for it. I got more than that. I definitely got a few bucks out of it, but ultimately, it's a 3. It's better, it's more good than bad, but it's at the lower end of the recommended scale. I'll recommend it if you really liked Surgeon Simulator, if you like that Goat Simulator type of stuff, if you liked Quope, like I said, that's good. Otherwise, maybe watch some guys' videos online, not necessarily mine, mine's not a Let's Play, but I'm sure there's Let's Plays out there that will make you laugh. Those are good, but it's a 3. Solid, not solid, good game, but not much more than that. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you're interested, you can definitely check it out. It is on Steam. It is on a number of platforms. It works extremely well with the controller. Do not play it with the keyboard unless you want even more frustrations. It could work. I know people who have said, I play with the keyboard, but dudes, this game is definitely made for a controller. You can even see with the markers. However, this is King Link. That's all for this game. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. I appreciate that always. If you want to see more, subscribe. Feedback, always welcome. But for more information and the full review, you can check the description. I have a link there. You can also just go to my site. It is kinglink-reviews.com. And my Twitter is kinglink-reviews. That's one word. I'll see you next time, and I'll try to get toasted by then.